Many people desire to be famous, but in reality, fame does have a dark side. At first glance, it's easy to believe that those in the spotlight have it all. But behind the prestige and the high status that comes with it, the concept of fame has had negative impacts on the lives of various celebrities. In this video, we'll be looking at 5 celebrities who have experienced the dark side of fame in Hollywood. Number 1. Drew Barrymore. It almost feels like Drew Barrymore has lived 2 lives. First, she is the tragic child star, the 90s wild child who was given a seat at the adult table too young and was left to navigate the pitfalls of fame alone. Today, she is the Barrymore who is in Hollywood today, a mother of 2, an author, a producer, and a director. But it's easy to forget that the actress was born into a long line of fame, hard partying, and addiction. Drew Barrymore didn't waste anything hitting the Hollywood party scene, alarmingly under the guidance of her mother. In her first shocking memoir, 1990's Little Girl List, the actress revealed that she started pouring liquor over her ice cream when she was just 7 years old and got drunk for the first time at Rob Lowe's birthday party when she was only 9. Things started unraveling following a car accident that occurred on the night of her celebration of 6 months of sobriety. She cracked her head against the window, but miraculously walked away unscathed. The guilt began to eat at the actress, and her relationship with her mother deteriorated. She moved out, her depression got worse, and then her estranged father, whom she hadn't seen in 8 years, called her begging for money. Finding out her friends were mad at her was the first straw, before she attempted suicide. Drew's incident was widely reported as an attempted suicide, but she insisted she didn't want to die. Drew Barrymore's mother institutionalized her following a cutting incident. The then 13-year-old actress spent 18 months in the facility, a long stay that was vastly needed. Otherwise, she would have resisted going given the chance. According to the Never Been Kissed star, it was finally the thing to change her life for good. However, Drew Barrymore has managed to have a monumental career, both front and center in multi-million-dollar blockbusters and behind the scenes. She managed to subvert the washed-up cliché of other child actors, but it wasn't easy. Number 4. Marilyn Monroe. There's no doubt that Marilyn Monroe is one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Despite her glamorous image, Monroe's personal life was far from easy. While she was regarded as one of the biggest sex symbols of all time during the height of fame, today she is widely recalled as a troubled figure who was a victim of the highly demeaning entertainment industry. Tortured by an unhealthy industry and frequently exploited by many around her, Monroe suffered from mental health issues for the majority of her life. In 1962, Marilyn Monroe made her final appearance on screen in the comedy film Something's Got to Give, also starring Dean Martin. Her substance abuse was so out of control that she rarely showed up to production, frequently providing doctor's notes citing various illnesses. When she did manage to appear during filming, she apparently couldn't remember her lines. Monroe was once found passed out in a barbiturate coma by the film's producer, causing the screenwriter to call her self-destructive in frustration. On August 5, 1962, 36-year-old Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her bedroom in California, surrounded by empty bottles of pills. While the cause of death was ruled an overdose, it is often questioned whether or not it was intentional, as she didn't leave a note. The Los Angeles police ultimately ruled the tragic incident as a probable suicide. Due to this, many heavily criticized Hollywood and the media's brutal treatment of fragile young actresses. Number 3. Judy Garland. Judy Garland should have been a wealthy woman at the end of her life. After all, Garland starred in The Wizard of Oz, one of the most culturally important and successful movies of all time. The image of 16-year-old Garland as the wind-swept and wonderstruck Dorothy Gale, for which she won an Academy Award, was a symbol of Hollywood. But going through life as a symbol was corrosive. In 1939, when Garland was 16, she got her big break as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz. In order to play the role, the studio had to make Garland look as young as possible. As in, she had to lose weight. The studio put her on a daily diet of chicken soup, black coffee, 80 cigarettes, diet pills, and amphetamines. Her waist was corseted, and her nose affixed with prosthetics. Garland was harassed by some of Hollywood's most powerful men. According to Gerald Clark, Garland's biographer, she was frequently approached for sex as a teenager. Mayer, who's been compared to Harvey Weinstein, is said to have groped Garland in his office. While she was singing, he placed her hand on her breast. Mayer also called her the little hunchback for her height. After getting hooked on pills at 15, Garland's health declined throughout her life. Her obituary in the LA Times lists her illnesses: hepatitis, exhaustion, kidney ailments, nervous breakdowns, near-fatal drug reactions, overweight, underweight, and injuries suffered in falls. Her drug habit had impeded her career before. While filming the 1948 film The Pirate with Minnelli, Garland's pill use spiked, and she behaved extremely erratically, missing days of filming and shooting paranoid thoughts on sets. She died in 1969 in her London home, the result of an accidental barbiturate overdose. Number 2. Joaquin Phoenix. There are a lot of reasons, however, for his quiet manner and reclusive attitude towards interviews. Behind all the awards, fame, and fortune is a truly dark story, and it's a testament to Joaquin's willpower and fortitude that he's been able to escape the difficulties of his past and remain one of Hollywood's best talents. It's never easy to live your life in the spotlight, but it's even more difficult if you're young. Running in between auditions and film sets, while supporting a struggling family no less, leaves very little time for the simple things about childhood. Although he did land good roles and began to rise in popularity along with his elder brother River, none of his contemporaries had to deal with poverty and abuse under a cult as children. Possibly the most tragic thing to happen in Joaquin's life was the loss of his brother River's life to a drug overdose. After all the difficulties River faced in his life, maintaining a persona of stardom must have been extremely difficult and mentally stressful, and he resorted to drugs in order to keep himself going somehow. It all went from bad to worse during one fateful night in 1993. 2 years after his landmark performances alongside Keanu Reeves in My Own Private Idaho, River consumed a speedball in Hollywood's legendary Viper Room nightclub, a mixture of alcohol, heroin, and cocaine, followed by a Valium. Joaquin made the 911 call while his sister Rain attempted to save River using mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. The event had a lasting traumatic effect on Joaquin. Naturally, a lifetime of so much tragedy cast a dark shadow over Joaquin's life, often cast as an insecure and troubled character. He began to sink deeper and deeper into the roles he was given. While the acting itself was legendary, it clearly took a toll on the man. After his incredible performance as the troubled legendary singer Johnny Cash in Walk the Lines, Joaquin checked into rehab for alcohol abuse. In interviews, he claimed that he was leaning on alcohol to make me feel okay. That's what it really was. Despite one of the toughest life stories in Hollywood, Joaquin has consistently proved himself to be one of the toughest, unbreakable actors in the industry. Number 1. Robert Downey Jr. A great Hollywood comeback story. Robert Downey Jr. is now one of the most bankable and highly paid actors in show business. However, not so long ago, he was practically unhireable due to his drinking and drug misuse, not to mention the timeless addictions that landed him in prison. Both show business and addiction run in the Downey family. Despite his active drug and alcohol addiction, Downey Jr. made a name for himself as a young actor in the mid to late 80s. Downey's performance in the 1992 biopic Chaplin earned him an Academy Award nomination, and his career seemed to be on an upward trajectory until 1996, when he was arrested for possession of heroin and cocaine. Downey was arrested multiple times for drug offenses and cycled in and out of jail. In 2001, while on parole, Downey was found barefoot wandering around Culver City, California, and was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence. That incident led to him being fired from his role on the TV show Ally McBeal, in addition to other film and stage jobs. Instead of being sent back to prison, the now broke actor was ordered to rehab. Downey's wife, Susan Downey, told Harper's Bazaar that he quit drugs for good in 2003 after she gave him an ultimatum. Apparently, it struck. According to a 2013 Daily Mail article, the actor credits a combination of 12-step programs, yoga, meditation, and therapy with keeping him sober. His career didn't pick up again until Mel Gibson personally underwent Downey's liability insurance. He also credits sobriety for the phenomenal career momentum he has enjoyed over the past few years. Where he was viewed as toxic, Downey now finds himself in a place where studios and directors are seeking him out, now in recovery for more than 15 years. The fact that Robert Downey Jr.'s career seems to improve the longer he stays sober, making his comeback one of the most impressive and inspiring stories. Which one of these celebrities' experiences were you not aware of? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.